guys, and welcome to In Front of a Crackling Fireplace, because I'm cold, for this Top 5 Wednesday. Disclaimer time. Top 5 Wednesdays were created by Ginger Reeves Laney for BookTube, but I'm taking them and using them for video games because I can. All the opinions in these Top 5 Wednesdays are the opinions of me, Julian and not the members of the rest of the cast unless otherwise noted. Disclaimer over. Okay, so this one was really tough, you guys. So tough. And that was my top 5 video game series. I had some criteria to be counted as a series in my mind. It had to have at least 3 games. And I was hoping that these games would tie together in some way, if not like telling a huge expansive story, that they would at least tie together in some way. But my list was so long, super long, so bringing it down to 5 was incredibly difficult. Here we go, number 5 is the Assassin's Creed series. And I believe I actually have not played Assassin's Creed, but I know a decent amount about it just from knowing about the world of video games. And I've seen some other people play. And from what I've seen, there is a little bit of a through story, or a large bit of a through story. It's a very popular series, it's still popular, it has hit a few stumbling blocks along its way, some less popular games in its series, but in general it is still well loved, well thought of, you still hear about it all the time. So number 5 series, Assassin's Creed. Number 4 is Zelda. Why is Zelda so low? Because while there is a timeline, a rather complicated timeline, and the fact that the hero of Hyrule is chosen again and again through history, so there is a bit of a through plot there, they are only very, very tangentially connected, and they have so many different art styles and play styles that while they are an awesome series, they aren't quite fitting perfectly in the criteria that I made up for this video, so that's why they're only at number 4. Still love Zelda, super iconic. Number 3 is the Tomb Raider series. Again, it is something I've never played, that kind of game just doesn't interest me, but I can recognize that it is an iconic series, and what better way to have a through story than to have them all star the same character of Lara Croft. And especially recently, we've even been rebooting her character and getting to know her in a lot more deep way than just watching her voluptuous chest jiggle. So that's good. Number 2 is Fire Emblem. Now we are finally getting into games that I just love, not games that I've heard of and are cool. Fire Emblem, ooh, I love them all. I love them all so much. More the handheld ones than the ones for like the gaming systems, because those ones are punishingly hard even for Fire Emblem. I pretty much own them all. I think I'm missing like 1 or 2, but they've been a great series and they kind of have a through story, but there's a lot of issue with that in the fact that some of them only came out in Japan, and yeah, it's challenging to follow any through story that they might have, but they are an awesome series and I love them. So because of my own personal love, they end up higher on this list. We already talked about how everything on this list is my opinion, so there you go. And my number 1 series, and you could probably see this coming for miles. Small blind children know what this is going to be, and that is Mass Effect. But it's not just because it is my all-time favorite gaming series ever. That is a reason, but not the only reason. My other reason is that it is a strong story made up of 3 games, which you really don't see. Like, you see games that have a through story and the same character, but Mass Effect tells one big story over 3 games with a lot of the same characters. Carryovers of relationships, carryovers of choices to some extent, and carryovers of, you know, the way your character looks, behaves, all that stuff from game to game to game, and I really don't see that to that depth anywhere else. Even in other BioWare games like Dragon Age, it's not the same character, it's not the same story, it's just in that world. And so that is why Mass Effect wins, because it embodies a real, like, true series to me, one where previous games at least appear to matter, and the story is a big story that is told through 3 games. Okay kids, now it is time to talk about some comments that were left on previous videos. PC-Spacegoon commented on my game titles video, offering some game title favorites of his own, such as I Am Bread, which sounds awesome, and Red Orchestra, which is a lot prettier and more cinematic sounding than I Am Bread. Two very different notions of interesting game titles from PC-Spacegoon. And then, another member of the cast, PC Sergeant L, commented on my Rebel Groups video. I'm just gonna go grab my laptop. Now, PC Sergeant L was a little disappointed in me and my inability to remember Rebel Groups for this video, because they are everywhere. And I don't think I explained myself well enough in the video. Because in just about every video game you play, your character and their group of friends often are opposing some sort of government or organization or big bad that you have to take down. Sometimes you do this on the side of the law, but much more commonly you are the rebels. Now that's fine, but I was looking for more specifically iconic rebel groups that have names versus just like in every single game you're seriously in a rebel group or you're just a rebel without a cause or a clue. But he said, Ogre Battle March of the Black Queen, Tactics Ogre, Final Fantasy Tactics, Command and Conquer, Red Alert, Yuri's Revenge, Sid Meier's Civilizations, Dragon Age Origins, Chrono in the Party and Chrono Trigger, and the Yellow Turbans and the Romance of the Three Kingdoms saga. And those are just a few that he could think of off the top of his head. And yeah, a lot of those are really great rebel groups, but did not quite fit the criteria that I was looking for. And also, some of them I just didn't know existed because I don't play the Romance of the Three Kingdoms. You're gonna have that with these videos, because it's just me, my opinions. But thank you, PC Sergeant L, for filling us in with a bunch more ideas for rebel groups.